There are questions that have historically been asked, and at this time you all can be seated, and I will ask these questions of Alyssa and Joshua. In the presence of family, friends, and Almighty God, we call you to acts of covenant at this time. And you know the thing where covenant's concerned. Covenant's different than a contract. Covenant is a decision, each of you making 100% to give to the other, and it's not contractual. It's not, well, if you do this, I'll do that. It's a statement of intention. It's, I'll do this to bless you, and I trust that you will do likewise to bless me. As you enter into this covenant, I ask you, Alyssa, will you have Joshua to be your husband, to live together in holy marriage, where you love him and comfort him and honor and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful unto him as long as you both shall live. And Joshua, will you take Alyssa to be your wedded wife, to live together in holy marriage? Will you love her and comfort her and honor and keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live? Having heard these promises that each has made to the other, then I ask that awful question, Steve. Made easier, though, if you have that deep sense of affirmation and trust in the one whose hand you will be handing your daughter's hand to, who then gives this woman to be married to this man. And we didn't, no, I'm sorry, this is my addition. We didn't talk about this last night in rehearsal, but we know that it isn't just Alyssa that's being given away. We talked to Speck about all that goes in to raising, nurturing, loving a child into womanhood or manhood. So I ask from Joshua's side of the family, who gives their blessing to this day? Joshua, I'm not going to stop you again. Both look beautiful, by the way. Let's pray together. Loving God, we know it's not by accident that you have chosen to weave Joshua and Alyssa's lives together. That you have embedded deeply within each of their hearts the seeds of faith that blossom into now a love that can become over the years a blessed love, a set-apart love, a love that not only blesses them, but blesses those around them. And so we trust these next moments back to you with thanksgiving in our hearts that this day has come to be. In the name of the risen Christ, all God's people said, Amen. Now, since we're so comfortable out there, I had about a 45-minute homily. Don't have 45 minutes, but take a look. Take a look again. Let me stand back and take a look at the garden. It's before you. And I want to say a few words about gardens in relationship to marriage. Now, I know it may sound a little plastic, but in more ways than you might think, marriage is like a garden. How many years has that garden been there? 25 years. So I'm guessing I'm just guessing. I'm guessing here's the way it came about. I'm guessing that maybe on some spring morning, you took a little walk down by the river, Steve, and you looked out, and lo and behold, through the night, the garden fairy had appeared. And had gifted you with this beautiful garden, and you ran back to the house. Well, no. You you walked back to the house, and you said, Martha, guess what? We've been blessed by this wonderful gift. I'm guessing that's not the way it happened. I'm guessing that thousands of hours have gone into tending that garden. That's the first way that marriage is like a garden. It takes lots of tending. A few other things about gardens in relationship to marriage. Gardens are formed in order to disappoint us, right, Martha? Now, I don't have a beautiful flower garden like this, but every year I grow a vegetable garden. And this year I did what I do, and I planted all my stuff. I have 2 rows of corn and 2 rows of carrots planted. Out of those 4 rows total, I am going to get, if I'm fortunate, 1 ear of corn. 0 carrots. They didn't even come up. They disappeared somewhere, probably in some bird's throat. Corn, two stalks of corn came up, and I accidentally hit one of those with a hoe. So 1 stalk. Gardens are born to disappoint us. There's lots of disappointment in gardening. Gardening is like marriage in that regard. They take a lot of work. I spent 3 hours this morning weeding my garden. It had gotten way ahead of me. And as I got to the back corner, what I found out is that the potato beetles had beaten me to the potatoes. Another disappointment. But here's an amazing thing about gardens, and this is true of my garden this year also. Gardens will wonderfully surprise you on occasion. The hardiest plants in my garden this year are those that came up when the fellow who tills my garden with his tractor evidently was and pushed a bunch of last year's squash and pumpkin husks to the back, buried them deeply into the ground. Those volunteer plants that I almost hit with the hoe when I began, because I thought they were weeds coming out. Those volunteer plants are easily twice the size of similar plantings that I made in my garden. Surprise. The hardiest, loveliest, most satisfying plants in my garden came up by surprise. My hunch is, well, it's more than a hunch. What I know after 71 years of life and 41 years of marriage is that you live for those wonderful and beautiful surprises. You will surprise one another. You will be surprised as a couple by the hand of God, by gifts that come your way, by claims on your life, by the Holy Other. You will be surprised. And the surprises are worth all the work, all the disappointment, all the little failures along the way. Be ready. Be ready to be surprised as you enter into this relationship of marriage together. Marriage is an awful lot like a garden. Still want to do this? The vows that you have chosen are fairly traditional vows that have been shared by couples through generations of time. We'll invite you to repeat these promises after First Josh, if you will listen. In the name of God, I, Joshua, take you, Alyssa,
I, Joshua, take you, Alyssa,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
This is my solemn promise.
This is my solemn promise.
Alyssa, will you offer the same words of promise after me? I, Alyssa, take you, Joshua,
I, Alyssa, take you, Joshua,
to be my husband
to be my husband
from this time,
from this time
to
forward,
have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
This is my solemn promise.
This is my solemn promise.
I know that you have rings that you are going to share with one another. Holy Communion. That's going to be a very private thing between the two of them. So as we're doing that, you'll be blessed by a song. This is Dad Steve and Claudia and Tom Walker will share this song. That same three people sung at Alyssa's parents' wedding. Not the same song, but same people. And so be blessed. Tom and Claudia wrote the song, and we ask that you receive the words of it as blessing. As we join hands now in our happiest hour, may we turn our eyes towards a greater power. Lord, make our lives a reflection of you. Thank you, all four of you who have supplied wonderful music for this occasion. The Walkers, Nathan Kennedy Gibbons, and now even the addition of Dad Steve's voice. So let's thank our musicians. Well, you've done all things well, and it's my great joy to announce before this gathering that you are husband and wife. Will you put your hands together and bless Joshua and Alyssa as they begin this part of their journey together?